Welcome to the Land Talk podcast, brought to you by the G20 Global Land Initiative, your weekly deep dive into the ideas, voices, and actions of people working to bring back life to our planet's land. Every week, for 15 minutes, we'll bring you conversations with guests from around the world, such as scientists, practitioners, policymakers, youth innovators, farmers, and many more. Today, we have Joshua Forte, founder of Red Diamond. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, Joshua, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what's your company about.
So, I am from the island of Barbados. I'm the founder and CEO of Red Diamond Composting, which is a biotech social enterprise focused on rebuilding Earth's biological infrastructure. Essentially, what we do is create agrochemical products from invasive plant species and organic materials, all with the goal of rebuilding the soil microbiome and ensuring that people can have access to clean, nutrient-dense foods. And this is something that has been, my main motivator and my main conviction in starting and pursuing this business over the last 10 years.
That sounds very, very interesting. You come from Barbados. It's often not very talked about in the business or ecosystem. Can you tell us a little bit more? You as an entrepreneur working in Barbados, how does it look like? How does the ecosystem look like?
So yeah, Barbados is a small Caribbean island. We like to, call it a large ocean state because we have more ocean territory than we do have land. But yeah, in Barbados, we are really looking at championing circular economy and life sciences. We see the importance of it, especially, again, over the last decade, we've been able to see in real time many of the effects of climate change. You see how the patterns shift and how many more severe weather events that we're having and it's happening so frequent. And it's really hard to predict. And that's something that you notice as distinctly different. But in Barbados, we see the value of it. We see the necessity for us to adapt to it. And in that, I find that we are able to develop solutions and innovations that are extremely, extremely resilient because we have to constantly adapt and be agile. It's just a part of our nature. And for me, I've been able to apply that to our business and from a perspective that allows it to scale into many different regions and territories across the world.
Absolutely. I think sometimes solutions can be born in a place, but then can be applied elsewhere. So
Exactly.
with that vision that perhaps your business can be taking up abroad and everything, what are some of the main challenges you're experiencing right now, where you want to take your business next, and what are some of those hurdles that you're facing?
So some of those main challenges for us include like access to finance. When it comes to finding, say, impact investors or even venture capitalists, the Barbados and the Caribbean is not necessarily like the first place on their radar. Many of them aren't even aware of the innovations and the technologies that are being developed. And, I see Barbados as being literally one of the best developmental testing grounds to pilot innovations and then deploy them into the world. So being able to, be on this platform to kind of make it be known that there's a lot happening in this part of the world, I think is a huge signal for investors out there. And we do have some new emerging ecosystem builders, I would say, business support and investment support institutions that are being established to really help guide investors in how to navigate the Caribbean and Barbados as well. So those are one of the major challenges for us in being able to find and attract that type of investment. Many times the investors that we do encounter aren't necessarily familiar with the biotech space or the tech space, which, it can be difficult because it's a really specific industry in terms of the processes that we have to go through, the regulations. And then with our work where we're dealing with, agribusiness, farming, it's a very personal component to that as well, the relationship that we have with our customers and our products. So it can be really unique. So needing partners that understand how that space works is really important, but it's not always the easiest to find.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It makes sense. Access to finance is one of the elements that we keep receiving the feedback through the ECO. that most of the entrepreneurs that come to the program experience the same sort of challenges of access to finance or not the right investors or not being able to access that sort of community. So in your case, how was your experience with the ECO? Has it helped you in any way? What are your highlights? And can you let us know a little bit about how the program has shaped you and your business?
Well, I would say hands down is the best program I've ever been a part of. And I've been part of quite a few regional and international programs before. EACO has helped me refine so much what I've been working on. We could talk about investment readiness. Going through that masterclass and the course as well was super, super important for me to kind of reshape my perspective on how I even engage and speak to investors, which is critically important. Understanding that it's not just a case, oh, you're looking for funding and you're just going to talk to all these investors. It's like, no, you have to assess them as much as they're assessing you and understand the profile that actually fits our business, where we're intending to take it. So like investment readiness was a big one. The biggest one for me was for sure intellectual property. Understanding for us as a circular economy, land restoration business, the intellectual property is not something that is always at the forefront of our minds. Even within the industry, as we would do our research, is not something that pops up, a lot at all. But the immersive experience and understanding that we've been able to gain through the program and understanding the consequences of not having that in place or the consequences of not having it well structured. These are things that I think is super, super important and critical. I appreciate it so much. And right now, I'm happy to say that Red Diamond Compost, we have a very comprehensive IP strategy and roadmap, not only for our production processes and operations, but our technology component and the combination of it is something I'm really excited about going forward.
All right. Very happy to hear that access to finance and IP. Sometimes, indeed, entrepreneurs do not think about protecting their business early on because they are worried about many other important issues. But the ECO, we make sure that that's one of the key elements we want to bring to them and make sure that that's strengthened through the program and beyond. So I'm very happy to hear. So, Joshua, what's up next for you and your business in the next year? What are your next milestones that you want to achieve?
So the next things for us, fundraising is at the top of that list, right? We're moving from our kind of research and development facilities. We've been selling in the market in Barbados and around the region, but we now need to get our, micro-industrial facility established. We have our land space secured, but it's getting that infrastructure in place so we can really scale, really ramp up. We have some key target markets that we have in mind within the Caribbean and outside as well. Even made some potential partners within our EACO group as well. So some really exciting partnerships we're going to have within Latin America, looking at our expansion into the US market as well. So yeah, building out our team is another big part. And I was really appreciative of the leadership sessions that we had in the program. It really helped to shape how I kind of engage in that process. And even the opportunity to get exposed to other opportunities, outside of the program directly, like the internship program that was shared for us to apply to. Happy to say that we actually got our project approved and we're going to be able to have access to an intern, over the next few months as we continue to build out that strategy.
All right, fantastic. I'll be definitely keeping an eye on your next steps, and I really hope that you achieve all the milestones you have set up for yourself. So thank you very much, Joshua, for joining us today and for your insights on entrepreneurship and Barbados and the ecosystem, and also what are the challenges for young entrepreneurs working in the land restoration sphere.
Thank you.
So we also want to thank our listeners for joining this conversation. You can sign up for our newsletter at g20land.org for a global view on what's happening in land restoration and join the global movement of land restorers.